If you're looking for a fun and educational activity for the whole family, well, why not check out Prairie Grove Battlefield State Park? And they have a lineup of events happening all month long, from workshops on tracing your family history to guided battlefield tours. Madison here to give us all those details on these exciting opportunities to explore history. Thanks for being here. Great to see you.
Thanks for hanging out today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So give us a little history on the state park.
Yeah, so first off, the reason we've got a state park is we had a battle that occurred during the Civil War. It occurred on December 7th, 1862, and so it's been 162 years since the battle took place. And after the Civil War, it was common for Confederate veterans especially to go back to those battlefields and have reunions with those that they fought alongside with. And in 1908, the United Daughters of the Confederacy purchased 9 acres of the original battlefield to continue hosting those reunions that had been on different private properties over the years. And over time, they continued to protect the land, and the Prairie Grove Battlefield Commission was created in the 1950s. And then we became a state park in 1971. And since then, we have now grown to over 1,000 acres of the original battlefield.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
It is.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you serve as park interpreter.
Yes.
Is that right? Now, what's your role? What does that mean, park interpreter?
So when most of the time people think interpreter, you think, oh, they speak another language.
Right.
Right.
I do not. For me, interpretation is taking all of the history and the resources that the park has to offer and sharing those with the public. Because sometimes it can be a lot of information.
Yeah.
So it's kind of taking that big chunk of information and sharing it with the public in little small doses here and
I
there.
love that.
Oh,
Making it where we can
interesting.
understand
Exactly.
that there's a lot of
Yeah.
history there.
Thank
at the
There is
battlefield.
a
for
lot.
that.
Yeah.
So talk about some of the upcoming events that you guys have going on.
Absolutely. So the first thing we've got is our genealogy workshop, which is coming up later this month. It is a free workshop, and so what that means is we use that workshop to teach folks tips and tricks that we use. We offer soldier searches for a small fee at the park, but this workshop's free to teach folks those little websites and things like that we use at the park.
Is there any, what's the value you think of knowing your history and knowing your ancestors?
Honestly, I think history as a whole is important to know. There's a lot that we can learn from history, and that way we don't repeat things that happened in history that we may not enjoy, but it's very knowledgeable to know different things that have happened in history. And then I also like learning about my ancestors, because there's things that I've found out since working at the park and doing these soldier searches, and even on my own family history, that I was like, oh, hey, I didn't know this before, but now I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one. What else do you have coming up?
Yeah, so another thing we have coming up in February is we actually have a program called May I Have This Dance? And so it's teaching folks period dancing from the 1800s. And we've offered that this past year, had a lot of fun with it, and so we're decided to offer it again.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe we need
To do some
learn how to
period
period
dancing?
dance.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a
absolutely.
good
Come
day
on out.
segment.
What sort of period are you talking about when you say period dancing?
So we talk about 1800s, specifically the 1860s, which is when our battle took place in the Civil War, of course. And so that's primarily the section we focus on, but it's more or less the mid-1800s.
The mid-1800s and what people
Are
were
these
doing
those
at that time.
dances that you would see, like everybody at that time just knew the moves?
Yes.
Is that one of the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. You see that in films all the time.
Right.
It's like that certain song comes on, and then everybody comes out of the woodwork,
Yeah.
and they all know.
They
this
all know
big-
the dance.
Exactly, yeah. And so these dances were actually used as a way of courting. So this is how, essentially speed dating, if you will.
Yeah.
These dances,
Oh.
yeah. So
How
it's really fun.
interesting. So what is the best way for folks to kind of keep up with what you guys have going on?
Absolutely. So our website, of course, arkansasstateparks.com, is a great way that folks can find out about our programs and things like that we've got going on. But of course, coming out to the park. We're open to the public, our museum, 8 to 5, Wednesdays through Saturdays, and then 1 to 5 on Sundays.
Yeah,
And then, of course, the grounds are open every day, sun up to sundown.
that's great.
Awesome.
Thank you, Madison.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank you
joining
so
us.
much.
Thanks for
You
having
have
me.
a lot of fun there as park
Yes.
interpreter. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.